What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City live watch-along. Today we're going to be doing the Premier League live watch-along of Manchester City's game against Burnley in the Premier League. Very excited for this game. Hopefully 3 points for Manchester City. Hopefully a good performance. Kevin De Bruyne starts for the first time this season for Manchester City. And we do have Erling Haaland back onto the bench for the team as well. So really looking forward to this game. Hopefully, as I said, it will be 3 points for Manchester City. So before I digest and dive into all the talking points for this game, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on now. Less than 400 subscribers away from my aim of 34,000 subscribers. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget social media links. You can find them on the yellow banner and also in the description too, if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships ready videos or any general business inquiries. Also, don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. Already doing brilliant on the likes, on 23 likes. We're aiming for 100, of course. It means we're 77 likes away. So any help towards that would be great. And also, don't forget to get your thoughts in the live chat, including where you're tuning in from today and your score prediction for this game. We've got Dudley in the chat. Good evening to Dudley. MCFC TV, welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you very much for your kind comment there, enjoying the thumbnail. So Sika, thanks for tuning in, showing some love for from Jamaica. Much appreciated. Do hope you are well. And MCFC TV says, hope you're doing well, mate. Hopefully we can get the win. I'm very well, thank you, my friend. How are you? And also, I'm hoping that we're going to get the win as well. Aryan, thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. I'm not too sure what Namaste means, but yeah, thank you, welcome, much appreciated. Christian as well, thank you for tuning in, much appreciated, cheering Manchester City. Great to see all you guys tuning in once more, and welcome to everybody for tuning in. So, team news is out for this rainy, cold, wet January day for Manchester City. It's the last day in January, our last game of January, and we've not played that many games, let's be honest. We've had a little winter break. There's been a couple of FA Cup games. When it comes to the Premier League, there's just not been that much Premier League action, has there? Hopefully, we're going to crack on. We're going to pick up a big 3 points. That would be absolutely brilliant. As I said, De Bruyne starts his first game this season, and we also have Erling Haaland back in the squad and on the bench for Manchester City today. So, got 3 Premier League games taking place today. 2 of them at 7:30 p.m. GMT here in the UK, including this game between Manchester City and Burnley. So it's a 7:30 p.m. GMT kickoff time. You've also at the same time got Tottenham Hotspur taking on Brentford in North London. And at 8:15 p.m. GMT, big game, Liverpool taking on Chelsea at Anfield. Fingers crossed we can get a favour off Chelsea. That would be absolutely brilliant. We've got Romanian in the chat. Much appreciated. So Sika going for a 3-0 victory for Manchester City today. Romanian going for a 5-0 victory for Manchester City. MCFC TV, I will give my score prediction once I've gone through the team. Gives me a better indication of how the teams are lining up, the formation, and I can try and digest just what I expect from this game to give my score prediction. And Aryan says 3-0 victory firstly for Manchester City, and says that Namaste, it's like a greeting word which they use in India, tuning in from India. So there we go. JSGC getting more and more cultured, always learning. Every day is a good learning opportunity. So Burnley today, our opponents led by Manchester City legend. He's got a statue outside the stadium. Vincent Kompany. What a man. What a legend. Everything that he achieved for Manchester City has been nothing short of outstanding. To me, I've been supporting Manchester City for over 20 years now. To me, Vincent Kompany is as close to what we've got a Mr. Manchester City. He lives and bleeds blue. He is... I don't have words to put in for how much we admire, respect, and love Vincent Kompany at Manchester City, and this is a competitive Premier League game, yet I feel nothing but joy and happiness seeing Vincent Kompany return back to the Etihad Stadium, and he's the manager of another team who could potentially take points off Manchester City, and that could be so costly in the Premier League. But you'll never hear me say a bad word about Vincent Kompany, because he's just a fantastic servant for Manchester City. And more so than that, he's just a brilliant person as well. He is Captain Fantastic as far as I am concerned. And as I said, I've just got nothing bad to say about Vincent Kompany, though I am hoping that we will pick up the 3 points today here against Burnley. So they're going with their traditional 4-4-2. I thought they might have gone with the extra midfielder. There should be space left, right and centre here for Manchester City. I think two of the players that are going to be so busy for them, Gudmundsson and Odegaard, they're the two players. Gudmundsson playing on the right and Odegaard playing on the left wing of midfield. They're going to have to stay back. It's quite simple. You imagine Sander Berge and Josh Brownhill are going to sit into the gap and sit in the hole in midfield. So it could go to a back six potentially. But you imagine Gudmundsson and Odegaard are going to have to stay back as well. So it becomes a back eight. Because if they give Man City all the space in the world of this Etihad pitch, Manchester City are going to have a field day here. So I'm surprised they're going with a 4-4-2. I thought they may have gone potentially with a 4-5-1 and go with the extra midfielder. They're going with the two attackers, Lyle Foster and Amdouni as well, Zeki Amdouni up top. So big games for them. Dangers there for Manchester City. Burnley are going to attack Manchester City is what it's looking like. So maybe a bit of a ding-dong battle. Maybe we might have a high-scoring game. We'll have to wait and see. So Burnley lining up former Manchester City man James Trafford in goal. One to watch for the future. It's a cracking goalkeeper. Burnley spent a lot of money in the summer on him. Nearly 20 million quid to bring him in to their club. He's starting today here against Manchester City. A back four at right back Vitinho. Left back Amin Al-Dakhil. And then it's Dara O'Shea and Ekdal as their two centre-backs. So no surprise there for the defence. Sander Berge and Josh Brownhill going as their two central midfielders, with Odegaard on the left and Gudmundsson on the right. Lyle Foster and Amdouni up top. No real surprises there from Burnley. On the bench, they've got former Manchester City man Aro Muric. Also joining him is Connor Roberts, Masengo, Cullen, Cork, Ramsey, Larson, Zaroury, and their new signing on loan from Chelsea, David Datro Fofana. He's an attacker, a striker, so we may see him at some point in this game as well. That's our opponents. Burnley done and dusted. They currently find themselves 19th in the Premier League. 5 points adrift in the relegation zone. They've got a difficult few fixtures coming up. Manchester City away from home here. They've got a match coming up at home against Fulham, followed by a away match at Liverpool and a home match against Arsenal. Massive game. So there we go. That's Burnley's games coming up. Very difficult for them. They're fighting for every point. They're needing points. I normally say you come to the Etihad and it's a free hit. Going off their fixture schedule, they need to try and do something here, which is probably why they go in with a more attacking formation, knowing that if they're just going to go defensive, they might keep the score down, but you're not going to get any points from Manchester City. So if they have a pop and have a go at us, maybe they might take something. Manchester City then lining up with, Sky Sports have got it down as a 4-2-3-1 formation. I think it'll be that traditional three at the back for Manchester City, so more of a 3-5-1 kind of formation, or a 3-2-3-1, whatever way you want to look at it. So, first up, Ederson. He starts in goal. Stefan Ortega-Moreno. He had a brilliant game against Spurs, albeit wasn't very busy, but he still had a good game when he was called upon. His distribution was very good. He was called upon to make the saves when he needed to. He kept a clean sheet away at Tottenham Hotspur. Ortega-Moreno couldn't have done any more to put himself in frame to be starting this game. But Ederson is Manchester City's Premier League goalkeeper, so he starts in this game ahead of Ortega-Moreno, and I think Ortega-Moreno can consider himself unlucky that he doesn't start in this game. I reckon with no Manuel Akanji for Manchester City, and I see he's not made the bench for Manchester City, so he started training with the squad. He may be another week or two away from making the Manchester City squad. I presume that it may be John Stones going on that right-hand side for City today, with Nathan Ake going through the middle and Josko Gvardiol on the left, and more freedom to Rico Lewis. Alternatively, it could be Gvardiol goes with a freedom of midfield on that left-hand side for City, and Rico Lewis will have more say on that right-hand side, with John Stones and Nathan Ake making the two central midfielders for City. I'm surprised Ruben Dias doesn't start this game. He's on the bench, so Man City clearly wanting to rotate a little bit, but we played 5 days ago, so players should be pretty fresh as far as I'm concerned, considering we've only just come back from a winter break and we're not playing until 5 days' time on a Monday night away at Brentford in our next game. So games, they're coming, or are going to come thick and fast, but there's still a nice little gap between games. It's not every 3 to 4 days. We're looking at every 5 to 7 days at this moment in time. That will change from next week, of course. So that's how City are lining up. Who knows what Pep Guardiola's got in plan for what's going to happen. There's lots of different variations that City could choose to go with their defence. Midfield, a little bit more straightforward, but not the easiest thing to digest. So Rodri will be going in defensive midfield. I imagine it will be Matheus Nunes as well. Starts. Good to see Matheus Nunes, and Mateo Kovacic very unlucky not to be getting a start here, because I thought he was one of the man of the matches against Tottenham in the last game. He goes on to the bench. So the question here is, will it be Phil Foden playing behind the striker? Because Sky Sports have got Phil Foden on the right wing. I've got a feeling it's going to be Phil Foden going behind the striker Julian Alvarez. And I think Kevin De Bruyne starts for Manchester City today and captaining the team in Kyle Walker's absence. Kevin De Bruyne, I think, may go on the right wing here for City, and Jeremy Doku starts on the left wing. So the returns of De Bruyne and Doku both starting today. They both should get 60-70 minutes under the belt, and we'll see how they respond from there. And of course, Julian Alvarez starts up top with Erling Haaland now breathing down his neck. He'll want to get back into that Manchester City starting 11 as quickly as possible. So onto the bench. We spoke about Ortega-Moreno. Kyle Walker. Let's talk about Kyle Walker. You'd think it'd be a banker for him to be starting this game. He doesn't start this game. It's a big call made by Pep. I wonder if this is anything to do with him doing that interview, that 4-page interview in the press this week with the Sun newspaper. Very interesting. Kyle Walker speaking about his personal life. Pep Guardiola has already addressed this in his press conference in the build-up to this game, saying that Kyle Walker is going to remain Manchester City's captain. Man City players have decided that they want Walker as their captain, so that doesn't change. Kyle Walker's personal life has nothing to do with Manchester City. It has nothing to do with Pep Guardiola, and Pep Guardiola is only going to make his decisions based on football only. So, an interesting call, where with Pep Guardiola seemingly giving his backing, you'd think it'd be good to go to be starting this game, because Kyle Walker, like Kovacic, I thought had a brilliant game. One of Kyle Walker's best games this season for Manchester City was in that match against Spurs. He doesn't start this game. Maybe it's tactical, maybe it's not. Maybe we're looking too much into it. I'm not too sure, but that's very interesting. Big call made by Pep Guardiola. Ruben Dias, another big call. Clearly fit, clearly good to go. He's on the bench for Manchester City today. John Stone's been given his opportunity returning back from injury, so we can put him with the return of De Bruyne and Doku here. Clearly Pep Guardiola wants to get some minutes, and he sees this match at home against Burnley as the ideal chance to go and do so, rather than the away match that we've got against Brentford in our next game. After that, Manchester City do have nearly a week off. We won't be playing again until we play Everton at home on the 10th of February. Going back to Manchester City, we're playing every 5 days rather than every 3 to 4 days. Then all of a sudden things kick in, and we are playing every 3 to 4 days once we get the return of Champions League action, and Manchester City on the 13th of February taking on FC Copenhagen in a massive game away from home in the Champions League. That's where Man City will be wanting the likes of Haaland, Doku, John Stones, all to be raring to go, fully fit, and also match sharp as well. The only way they can do that is through giving rotation of the squad and getting minutes for these players, which is why the likes of Walker, Diaz, Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, they do miss out. Also on the bench, Sergio Gomez, Oscar Bobb, Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish seems to be the forgotten man at Manchester City, which is remarkable, absolutely remarkable that he seems to be the forgotten man at Manchester City right now. I did speak in my preview, though, I didn't think this game was best suited for Jack Grealish. Burnley, they're going to leave space. You want to run at them, and having someone like Jeremy Doku fully fit and available could be massive here on that left-hand side for City. So it doesn't surprise me that Jack Grealish doesn't start, but I wouldn't rule out potentially in the match against Brentford away. I am even looking towards Copenhagen because they're a very attacking team. When you've got teams that are willing to go toe-for-toe with Manchester City and put City under pressure, you need them players that are capable of buying them free kicks, giving a bit of respite to the City players when backs are against the wall and they're under pressure, players that are willing to track back, players that are going to pop up into space when they need to, your Grealishes, your Alvarezes, for example. So that could be something for City to keep an eye on. I don't think Jack Grealish had too bad of a December, but hasn't really had a look in January, so we'll see what happens with regards to that. Also on the bench for Manchester City, you got Bernardo Silva, Mateo Kovacic, and finally, number 9, Erling Haaland. That's what we want to speak about. Erling Haaland returning for Manchester City. Just how important is that for Manchester City? Manchester City, of course, not really lacking any goals. The team have been chipping in. We're going back to that argument. People argue, there are people out there who say that Man City do not need Erling Haaland. But you look towards the statistics, Erling Haaland still leads the goal scoring charts, even though he's been away for nearly 2 months in the Premier League. Yet he's still the top goal scorer in the Premier League. And he's not had his best of seasons, I don't think. He certainly doesn't look as sharp or as good as what he looked last season. Yet he's just one of them players that lives and breathes goals, which means Erling Haaland is always going to be that striker that grabs you 30 Premier League goals in a season. And that's the kind of player that you need to win the big trophies, the kind of player that makes the difference when your backs are against the wall and you're going up against teams that are 1-0, 2-0 ahead. You need a player to come on and get you them quick fire 2 or 3 goals. Erling Haaland in the right space at the right time. When he's clinical, he is deadly. There is nobody out there better than Erling Haaland, and what an option here for Manchester City. I think Haaland gets minutes here today. Not sure how many, but I think he gets minutes. If it was up to me, I think I'd be giving him 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes at most. We'll have to wait and see. But Doku, De Bruyne starting, John Stones, he's back. Haaland on the bench. Manchester City, for the first time this season, have a fully fit squad who have all trained and all ready to go. Competition for places is very high. We're very much now heading towards that business end of the season. We're playing catch-up to Liverpool. We've got huge games coming up. Look at March's fixture schedule for City. It's frightening. So this is the time here for Man City to be getting them 3 points, getting that pressure onto Liverpool. They're at home against Chelsea. Not the most straightforward of games, albeit Chelsea haven't been brilliant, lacked a bit of consistency. But if City win this game and Liverpool's 0-0 at half-time, all of a sudden they're under a lot of pressure. They've got an away match against Arsenal at the weekend as well. So there are opportunities here that Liverpool could drop points and we could be playing catch-up. And I'm looking at City's schedule and I'm thinking to myself, City really need to be within touching distance when we go to Anfield at the beginning of March. We really need to be within touching distance. And the only way we can do that is gathering up ahead of momentum, getting them winning streaks going and getting Liverpool under maximum pressure in the hope that they will crumble. It could be another City pool title race coming up here once again, and it's going to be even more complicated and even more difficult. Liverpool are doing a documentary. Jurgen Klopp's leaving at the end of the season, so they've got that emotional factor to go along with the quality that Liverpool have got. Liverpool have taken points off City at the Etihad Stadium when we should have beaten them. We now need to go to Anfield and do something, but before we even get there, we've got a run of fixtures here that I consider a winnable amount of fixtures that Manchester City can get maximum pressure applied onto Liverpool, and then winnable fixtures for me start today. 19th place at home against Burnley. Manchester City need to go out there, get that win, get them 3 points, move on to the next game against Brentford away from home. Again, another game won't be very easy for Manchester City. Arjen says he wants to come and watch Manchester City at the Etihad. He says, I'm from India. Will I be able to get tickets? As long as you are a Citizen Matchday member and you're quick on the mouse, you will be able to secure tickets for Manchester City. It all depends on your availability. I always, just my own personal preference, I love European nights at Manchester City. I think they're special. There's something about them that's just magnificent. I know some of the fans don't take to the Champions League, they don't take to UEFA, but you can't help but respect the show that's on display when Manchester City are taking on some of European's biggest and best, and them, to me, are the best nights available, and you can get tickets for them as long as you are quick. Although, apparently the rumours are City have got over 100,000 members now, so getting tickets for games is getting more and more difficult. It's getting more and more expensive. There's over 2,000 tickets unsold for this game today. Why? Well, they're charging a ridiculous amount of money. They're charging £61 for an adult ticket. The cheapest adult ticket today is £61 for a midweek game, a Wednesday night game, 7:30 kickoff at the end of January in the pouring rain. If Manchester City decided to go with affordable prices, your £20, £30 for your tickets, which is what the away end is charged at all Premier League games, this place would be packed out. So there's my little ticket thing that I like to, not having a dig, I'm not having a go. I just think there's room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. Manchester City do so much very well. They do it best in the world as far as I'm concerned in many aspects. I do think there's room for improvement in terms of atmosphere at the Etihad. I think the club want to address that with the expansion of the North Stand. I think there's stuff that Manchester City can do in terms of ticket price as well, including thinking about a Wednesday night game against Burnley, charging 61 quid for an adult ticket. So there we go. So Sicker says, happy birthday to my superstar Bunny Shaw. Happy birthday to Bunny Shaw. Very, very, very good. Very good. Aryan asks, do I live in Manchester? I live in Greater Manchester, but not Manchester City Centre itself. Keith, thanks for tuning in, says, sup JSGC, good to see you, son. Thank you very much, Keith, and good to see you as well, my friend. Thanks for tuning in. Eagle MMA, am I a former United fan? I can confirm that I am not a former Manchester United fan. I've been supporting City since 2002, when JSGC was just 6 years old and you faced the prospect of supporting your first and only football team, and Manchester City was the choice. And I was very lucky, actually, to be able to see Main Road before it got knocked down. I bought my first ever Manchester City shirt in the Main Road club shop. It was the Nicky Weaver green shirt, because JSGC never really liked blue and never really suited blue, which is why you see me on the watch-along. I don't really wear blue. It's not really my colour. It clashes with my hair. So you won't really see me wear blue unless it comes down to superstition and I lose a couple of games in the row wearing this, and then the blue home shirt will come out and I'll have no choice but to go down that route. But it's been some roller coaster ride at Manchester City. I've loved every single minute of it. You make a choice at such a young age to support the football team and you stick through them through thick and thin. I've seen Manchester City be promoted to the Premier League. I've seen Manchester City score 9 goals at home all season. I've seen City nearly get relegated on 2 occasions. Thankfully, not seen them relegated as of yet. I've seen Manchester City rip that banner down at Old Trafford. I've seen us win the Premier League. I've seen us win the Champions League. There's been massive ups and downs when it comes to supporting Manchester City, and it is a roller coaster ride, and it's the best roller coaster ride in the world. Neil says, Klopp wants in his head, he wants them to go and do the treble. He wants achievements. People are talking about his legacy in the Premier League, and he's just not won enough to be considered up there with the top great managers, your Jose Mourinho's, your Arsene Wenger's, your Pep Guardiola's, your Sir Alex Ferguson's, and they say that when it comes to the big five, some suggest that Jurgen Klopp sits at the bottom of them big fives. He needs to win more. His win ratio isn't as strong as some of the other managers. His trophy count isn't as strong as some of the other managers. I mean, his trophy count isn't as strong as some of the other managers because he's been going toe for toe with Pep Guardiola, the best in the world, and Pep Guardiola has very much won that war. But there's one more battle still to go, and that comes in the Premier League, and that battle isn't won by either manager. It's going to be some ride. Really looking forward to it. Julia, good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. Do hope you are well. Boy Racer says, I bet they thought more people would turn out for Vinny. Obviously not many going to be spending crazy money turning out for Burnley, though. They've got to recognise it's a team in 19th place. You know, we're not facing a team in the top 6. You're not facing one of the big 6 football teams here. So it's not going to happen. Not on a Wednesday night at the end of January in the pouring rain. It's cold. It's miserable. It's just not. People aren't going to have that appeal. There's the same coming up in our match against Brentford at home that's been rescheduled for midweek in February. Again, the pricing strategy and the pricing criteria, it's got to be spot on by Manchester City, because if it's not, these games are being broadcast, not just live in the UK, they're being broadcast around the world. And Manchester City, the club themselves, they hate when it's called the Etihad. They hate seeing empty seats. There's so much emphasis on resale for season ticket holders. It's absolutely unreal. Manchester City don't want empty seats, and yet there's going to be over 2,000 empty seats here today for this game, because the pricing strategy is just ridiculous, quite frankly. It's out of touch. It was out of touch with the campaign for the tickets for the Real Madrid home match in the Champions League last season. It was out of touch for the Spurs away match as well, for the selling criteria. Good for season ticket holders. If you're not a season ticket holder, though, it's not so great. You dig beneath the surface, there's lots of cracks as far as I'm concerned. I'll get back to the comments in just one second, as we're just about to have kickoff here at the Etihad Stadium. Burnley are going to get us underway for this game. And James Trafford's just going to launch this one long. So, yeah, I don't feel like there's anything else to add on to the ticket situation with Manchester City here. Football CCTV says, let's see if student Vinny can outplay a teacher, Pep Guardiola. We'll have to wait and see. It's difficult ask, very difficult ask to come to the Etihad and take anything. Andy and Alison, thank you for tuning in. So just arrived in the house in York, tuning in from York in Yorkshire. Much appreciated, Andy and Alison, and do hope that they are well. John, thanks for tuning in as well. He says he's got to go, so it's just a very quick pop in and visit. So much appreciated. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for interacting with me. Much appreciated. Seamus, thanks for tuning in as well. Much appreciated. Says no Kyle tonight, Jay. KDB captain. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's to do with the Sun article. Maybe we're looking too much into it. Maybe not. Maybe there's a bit of chance for a bit of rotation in place. Pep Guardiola has been very supportive of Kyle Walker so far, with his personal life all over the tabloids and not helping himself by doing an interview and a public apology to his wife. My stance has always been the same on this. It's his personal life, so it's a business that's between him and his family. I'm not too fussed as long as Kyle Walker's playing sensational football for Manchester City and doing well. What he's done isn't illegal, unethical, of course, unforgivable to some, but not illegal, so it's not a crime that's being committed. And who knows with Kyle Walker? I said I'm not going to give my opinion here. I am giving my opinion. I feel like Kyle Walker needs a little bit of a reality check when it comes to his personal life. So, obviously there's been some ongoing personal issues, so this might just be, it's devastating to him, but, this divorce might just be the kick in the teeth to make Kyle Walker a more ethical person, a more well-respected individual, and actions have consequences. And Kyle Walker's not the only player that falls down that route, I don't think. There's numerous amounts of Premier League top football players that fall into that bracket. And it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to his family. It's disrespectful to his wife. It's disrespectful to his children. He knows. That's why he's done his public apology. Here's Foden then. Goes for a deep ball in and Trafford spills it and manages to gather it up at the second attempt. Boy Racer then says scheduling doesn't help either. Got another London trip late on a weeknight, and can't even stay at the weekend. Scheduling doesn't help. The scheduling's not been too bad for City at the moment because we're playing rather than every 3 to 4 days, it's every 4, 5, 6 days. So it helps with the rest. But we're at the business end of the season, and if you're asking me at the business end of the season, when do I want Manchester City to play? Rather than being bothered about rest, I'm more bothered about, are we playing before Arsenal? Are we playing before Liverpool? Because if we win, we put them under pressure. Got a game in hand against Brentford coming up. City win and Liverpool win. The gap remains at 5 points. Eventually, if Man City and Liverpool continue to win their games, by the time it gets to the game in hand, and if City win that game in hand at home against Brentford, that gap gets pulled down to 2 points. Then scheduling becomes very important. If City go ahead before Liverpool and we win our game, we go a point clear of them with them to play, knowing that we may have a better goal difference to them, and then all of a sudden every game becomes must win, and the pressure just gets cranked up as you go through the Premier League match days. We are very much getting towards that business end of the season. Once you clear past February, you're well into it. And City's schedule, for me, the business end really starts in that Manchester derby right at the beginning of March. Between this game and then, to me, all these games at City have got a winnable as far as I'm concerned. And that's the minimum that City have to be looking for. Seamus asks, how many seasons has he got left as a top player? I presume you're on about Kyle Walker there. Pace has disappeared a little bit this season. You're probably looking, due to his age, 2, maximum 3. I have always said Kyle Walker, once he loses his pace, loses his main attribute. He isn't the strongest, most physical defender. He's not too bad at reading the game. He's not too bad of a passer. His pace is what makes him his unique selling point at Manchester City. And once that pace starts to disappear, will be when Manchester City choose to probably address that right-hand side. At the moment, Akanji, Stones, Rico Lewis, they can all go there. So I don't think that's an area that City will want to look at. Obviously, they'll keep an eye on the situation with Pedro Porro that been getting linked with at Spurs. Though going off how rough and tumble he was with Manchester City in our match against Spurs, maybe suggests that City may not be that interested. They may be interested in bringing Yan Couto back from Girona. That's rumours have been out there. So we'll see. I mean, it's evident that Man City's squad is stretched thin. It's small. There's always going to be space for 2 or 3 players to come in. You can't always go out there and sign 2 or 3 players. Often it's a case of what can Manchester City do in terms of player outgoings and who do they want to bring in. And I think one of the biggest things we've got coming with transfers this summer is, what do we do about Bernardo Silva? So a long ball came in from Nathan Ake to Matheus Nunes. He was onside. He gets a tug across the shoulder, and it means Man City have a free kick here in a very good position. As we're now on to 47 likes, which is great. So we're just 53 likes away from 100 likes. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Do subscribe as well if you are new around here. That would be great. So what are City going to do from this free kick? This looks pretty much like Kevin De Bruyne territory. It's long-haired Kevin De Bruyne. He's ready to set the Premier League alight with a free kick here for Manchester City, and it takes a deflection off the wall and over the top of the crossbar and out for a corner. It's taken 7 minutes for Man City to have an attempt and do something. Other than that, a cross has gone into the box that James Trafford spilt. Other than that, there's not been too much from City, and I think Burnley right now, 7 minutes in, probably going to be happier than Manchester City, but you're never going to rule City out because City are a class team. So De Bruyne on corner duty. Normally it's Julian Alvarez. De Bruyne is going to be taking this for City. Goes for the near post. It's flicked on and it loops up in the air. And that's easy for former Manchester City man James Trafford to collect in goal for Burnley tonight. And he's just going to throw that one out to Vitina. He turns and just works this backwards now to O'Shea. He goes back to goalkeeper James Trafford. He's a sweeper keeper, James Trafford. He's a good keeper, good shot stopper, really good with his feet. Definitely one to watch for the future. I don't see him getting into the England squad for the European Championships, but If he continues to go from strength to strength like he has over the last couple of seasons, then he could be a player that could potentially be up there for the England #1 jersey one day. Maybe even soon. You never know. I like Jordan Pickford. I think he's a good keeper. I don't think he's amazing. I think there's better keepers out there. And James Trafford's very much falls into that bracket of a modern-day goalkeeper. Good with his feet, good with his hands. Player to look out for the future. If Burnley end up getting relegated this season, that'll set him back. It'll be interesting to see if he stays at Burnley or not. Ederson being put under a lot of pressure, and Manchester City nearly gave the ball away. Referee gives a very soft free kick against Matheus Nunes there. And a free kick for Manchester City. I didn't think there was too much wrong with that, if I'm being completely honest. I think Burnley will consider themselves unlucky. As we've now got nearly 40 people in the room. Welcome everybody, thanks for tuning in. It's 0-0 here at the Etihad between Manchester City and Burnley. We've only seen one attempt on goal so far. A Kevin De Bruyne free kick hit the top of the wall and went out for a corner. Not seen too much since. Burnley trying to get their pressing game in. At the moment, it's the likes of Rodri and Matheus Nunes that have been put under pressure and having to deal with that pressure. So it looks like City are going with that back three of John Stones on the right, Gvardiol on the left, and Ake going through the middle. Which means Rico Lewis gets more freedom into midfield and sitting in that little gap between where you find Rodri and Nunes. Here is Jeremy Doku for Manchester City. Just works the ball back to Josko Gvardiol. He's got nowhere to go here. Really good pressing game this from Burnley early on. Really good pressing game. Nathan Ake then with the ball. Rodri just pops up in the gap. So Foden's gone on the right wing here for Manchester City. It's well defended out there on the left-hand side by Burnley and out for a throw into City. The ball came in over the top looking for Phil Foden. Headed out for a throw into City. Here's Rico Lewis. To Rodri. Back to Rico Lewis. And his pass. It's sloppy. It's given away. And Nathan Ake mops that one up. Does really well. Really well. And Manchester City get themselves a throw-in. Stu, thanks for tuning in. Good evening to you. I do hope you are well. As we're now just 2 likes away from my 50 goal halfway to 100 liked aim. Making some good gains on the likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new around here as well. Here is Rodri coming forward for Manchester City then. Takes on Lyle Foster, beats Lyle Foster and works it to Rico Lewis. Here's Phil Foden now. Stu, good to hear. And yes, I'm all well, my friend. All good here from me. Here's Jeremy Doku into space. 2 in the box. Not a great ball into the box and cleared. And Lyle Foster actually... it's a good tactic from Burnley having these 2 attackers. It's risky, but it's a good tactic. Because you have one striker, you clear the ball. If it's not pinpoint to the attacker... you're just going to give the possession away. And having the second attacker means you don't have to be as accurate with your clearances. As long as it's around one attacker or the other, you may well get hold of the ball. And with how expansive Manchester City are, there's space. There'll be space for Man City, but there'll be space for Burnley as well. It's all about how you utilise that space. That's a great ball from James Trafford to the left-hand side. A chance here for Burnley to put a ball into the box. A chance here for Burnley to put something into the box. And they get themselves a corner. There we go. Ethan, thanks for tuning in. Any news about financial fair play? Not expected to hear anything until the end of 2024, so put it to the back of your mind. Don't think about it until we do hear then. It's not going to be any time soon. Premier League have already confirmed that due to the complex matter of Manchester City, Everton's case will get dealt with before Manchester City's does. That's the expectation. So, no time soon. And thanks for tuning in. Good evening. Do hope you are well. So, some defending here for Manchester City to do. Corner for Burnley. Whipped in. Header won by John Stones. And Kevin De Bruyne does really well, gets a footing, gets an interception, finds the pass to Phil Foden, and City could come away with possession as well here, and just not quite accurate from Nunes, and out of play for a throw-in to Burnley. So throw-in here for Burnley. Atmosphere at the Etihad pretty flat. I'm sure we'll get a comment off Pep at some point about how flat it is. Here's Nathan Ake then for Manchester City. Gives the ball to Rico Lewis. Nathan Ake once more. Ethan, I'm very well, thank you. How are you today, my friend? Ederson pays the pass into Alvarez. He just couldn't get it under control. Nunes can get it under control. There's three ahead of him. Goes to Doku on the left. What can Doku do? Up against Vitinho. Into the penalty area. Back to Nunes. Nunes with the shot and a good block there from Burnley. Really good block. Needed block. Look like that we're destined for the back of the net. Here's John Stones then for Manchester City. Getting up ahead of steam. Phil Foden on this right wing. To John Stones. He's got Rico Lewis for support. Uses him for his support. And Rico Lewis, it's twice now. Gives the ball away. Does really well to gather that ball back up. De Bruyne this time. His turn to give the ball away. And John Stones tries to check Lyle Foster out of the game. Failed in doing so. And Burnley thought they were going to be in for the counter-attack. But Jeremy Doku with a wayward pass can intercept for Manchester City, and Rodri's just going to slow the pace of this game down. So we're through the first phase of the game, the first 15 minutes. Manchester City 0, Burnley 0, and Burnley will be the happier of the two teams here. City being limited to very little so far. Good pressing game from Burnley. How long can it continue for? That's another question. Manchester City anywhere far from their best here at the Mo. There has been a lot of changes. City haven't been playing too many games. That's a great ball into the channel, and Nunes is in. He can't sort his feet out, and he can't find the pass. He gets a second bite at this. He gets a second bite at this. What a ball into the box. Who's there but the Spider to put into the back of the net? It's the World Cup winner himself, Julian Alvarez. Manchester City lead. Come on. It's a great ball. Second bite of the cherry. And Nunes makes no mistake with the assist. Alvarez makes no mistake with the header. And Manchester City are ahead here. 16 minutes in. Just what the doctor ordered. And we can all chill out a little bit now. Really good work that from Matheus Nunes. It's a great ball from Foden into the gap. Gvardiol had made a really good run. And I think Nunes was just trying to find the pass into Gvardiol. He couldn't, so he goes onto his left foot and just dinks it into the right area, right near the 6-yard line, centre of goal. And it's all about that ball in from Nunes. All about that ball in. It's such a good ball. It dissects the defence. And it's a good header from Julian Alvarez. It's a really good header from Julian Alvarez. He can't make any mistake there. It's the kind of position you'd want Erling Haaland in. 6'4", tall target man. Whack! Straight into the back of the net. Julian Alvarez, make no mistake, puts the ball into the back of the net. It's a good finish. It's a good assist. It's good football. And Burnley's hard work for the first 16 minutes, undone by Manchester City. Ederson plays a pass into De Bruyne. Oh, it's majestic. It's absolutely majestic to Jeremy Doku. Here's De Bruyne. De Bruyne! Shot. Good block. Nunes can't pick that one up. nor can Rodri, and Burnley can come away with the ball and get themselves a throw-in off the boot of Rico Lewis. And what Manchester City want to do here is try and go from strength to strength. As Man City's opponents on Monday night, our next game in the Premier League will be against Brentford. Our next game, in fact, will be against Brentford. They're playing away from home tonight against Spurs. And Morpay has just given Brentford the lead in that game in North London at Tottenham Hotspur's Stadium. So Spurs 0, Brentford 1. Andy happy with Spider-Man. Stu reckons, based on the FA Cup from last year, City are going to go on and win 6-0 in this game. I do hope you are right. En says he's missed seeing City play on a regular basis. It's been good to have the rest. It's been good from a content creator's point of view, from my point of view, that I've not been overworked throughout January with doing my daily Manchester City transfer updates. Now that they're coming to an end and regular football's coming back, that winter break was well timed for me. Having to do match previews, match reviews, match watch-alongs, all preparations for matches on top of the transfer stuff in January can be nothing short of exhausting. So City not playing as often has given me a nice little break in what can be a very busy time in the football calendar in January. Very difficult month. It's been a pretty relaxed January as far as I'm concerned, as De Bruyne wanted to play a pass into Rico Lewis. He just ran past the ball, and De Bruyne not very happy about it. Rico Lewis has been almost like the odd one out here at the moment. He just looks a little bit off the pace. First 15 minutes, I thought Nunes looked a bit off the pace, but he's just started to settle in, and that assist will do him the world of good, I'm sure. But Rico Lewis has given the ball away a few times. He's not made the runs where he needed to make the runs. It's all to do with playing time. You know, you get 3-4 games in a row, you get settled, you get sharp, as Doku does so well, goes for the byline, and James Trafford twice now spills the ball, nobody's there. And says, give Nunes some more playing time. Loves his energy. He's a good player, Matheus Nunes. I'm surprised. He's another player. He had a really good December like Jack Grealish did, and they're not really had a look in as we've gone into January, and I don't know why that was. Stu says we play Brentford twice in February, Monday, and then at the end of the month in the rearranged game because of the Club World Cup at home. We do, yes, twice in a month. Brentford are the only team last season, as De Bruyne goes down, pulled down by Ekdal. Could go into the book here. He does go into the book, in fact. Yes, they did the double over us last season, Brentford. So that game on Monday night away from home will be difficult, and that game at home will be difficult as well. Further complicated by Ivan Toney's return from his gambling ban for Brentford, and he isn't going to be sold before the end of the season. So there's dangers there. Brentford are a good team. They're not having as good of a season as what you'd expect them to be having, but the threat and the danger remains there, which means if City want to beat them, they've got to play a very good game. So, a free kick here for City. De Bruyne just plays a pass in, and Alvarez is in! Alvarez is in! It's right off the training pitch. It's an assist for De Bruyne. First start of the season, and he's back in amongst the assists, and Alvarez has 2 for Manchester City. Lots of high-fiving going on the bench. That's straight from the training ground. They've clearly worked on that. It catches Burnley out. It gives Alvarez half a yard. He's clinical. You don't win World Cups for no reason when you're playing in that attacking role, and you're getting starts for Argentina. Julian Alvarez, he's putting a statement out there. 2-0 Manchester City. City double their lead. It's exactly what we're looking for. And surely City would be thinking about killing this game off before half-time. Got to be thinking about that. As we are now over halfway to my like goal of 100 likes. 49 likes to go. Any help towards that, I'd be much appreciated. Do subscribe as well. Stu said his prediction looking good. Maybe he should have said 6-0 after all. And the Spider scoring for Manchester City again. And Burnley at 6s and 7s. Trafford working it out from the back. Burnley's game plan completely undone in the space of 6 minutes in the first half by Manchester City. And you do fancy if City can grab a third, that will be the game. Burnley, though, continuing to come forward, getting players forward. Can they get into these good positions and can they turn them into opportunities? They're in a good crossing position, so why is the ball not going into the box? They're allowing Manchester City here to block, so it goes out for a corner. Rico Lewis wanted a goal kick, but not putting the ball into the box there allowed Manchester City to put that ball into touch. Carlos Vincenz is the man that was getting the high five and plaudits. Clearly worked on that in the training ground. He's got his earpiece in. They were all over there stroking his hair, giving him high fives. City have worked on that. Homework. Corner for Burnley. Header won by Rodri. Gets no distance on it. Wins the second header as well. Foden gets the touch and City can have possession here. Here is Rodri. Wants to find space. Nunes now. Just hacks that one clear. Does the sensible thing. Header won by Burnley. Second ball is loose and won by Phil Foden. I love that from Julian Alvarez. He's not the spider anymore. He's a tarantula. That's given away. Here's Foden. In a good position. Nunes now. Back to John Stones. He's giving somebody an applause there. I wonder why Alvarez calls himself the spider. There must be some history around that. Wouldn't it be cool if he got himself a Spider-Man mask and put it on? Wouldn't that be cool? Maybe City should get him a sky blue mask to put on to celebrate. Who was the player that used to have a mask? Was it Hulk or somebody? He used to put it in his sock to celebrate. Who was that? There was a player out there like maybe 10 years ago or so. 10, 15 years ago. I can't remember who it was. Here's Nunes. Oh, he tries to play into Foden. He just couldn't quite do it. And the ricochet falls nicely to James Trafford. And Burnley can come away with the ball as Manchester City 2-0 up now. Against Burnley at the Etihad. Leonard, thanks for tuning in. Stu saying we might not see the Viking if we're keeping it up at this rate. We don't need him as Burnley could be in here. Burnley could be in here. Oh, Josko Gvardiol. What a challenge out for a corner to Burnley. Brilliant, brilliant interception. So Miles says, Alvarez's older brother used to call him Aranita, which translates into English as the little spider. I can think of worse nicknames that your brother could give you. Corner for Burnley. More defending for City then. And that's a great ball in. And that was a chance. Missed volley. I'm not too sure who it was. It was a missed volley. I think it was Sander Berge. Big Sander Berge. Anyway, here's Manchester City thinking about the counter-attack. Here's Rodrigo. It's got Nunes for Kompany on the left. Foden on the right. He goes for the option on the left. Nunes already got one assist to his name. Can he get himself a second or can he get himself a goal? It's a good shot. It's a good save from Trafford as well. This is much, much better for Manchester City. Much better. More intensity. City want to kill this off. City want a third. Nathan Ake then. Just Nathan Ake. Is there a more underappreciated and underrated player at Manchester City than Nathan Ake? Sensational player. And if you cast your minds back to his first season at Manchester City, he had very few opportunities and looked a bit frustrated. There was one time when he was getting linked with a move back to Chelsea for £40 million, if you guys remember that. He said, I want to stay at Manchester City, and ever since then words have left his mouth, he's just gone from strength to strength. He's looked superb. Wonderful player. And I'm glad that Miles spoke about Matheus Nunes there, because I feel like he could be the midfield version of Nathan Ake for Manchester City, a player that in his first season doesn't get given that many opportunities, shows glimpses of just being an outstanding player, and once given an opportunity could just really settle himself down and become a really tidy player. And then it's squared across the box, and Nunes was waiting to tap that in. Well defended from Burnley and out for a throw into Manchester City. N says they agree Nunes should play more. He's a lesser Paqueta. I mean, if we get the very best out of Matheus Nunes, do we need Lucas Paqueta? I mean, Lucas Paqueta is an outstanding player. It all depends on what extra cover Manchester City want, but Paqueta's an £80+ million player. You're not going to spend 80 million quid on a player that's going to sit on the bench. Stu says, James Trafford, ex-City player from Cockermouth. Hey, I don't want to get demonetised, my friend. He says he reckons he's going to develop and one day he'll come back as Manchester City's goalkeeper. He's a great prospect. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of what he can do. I was bigging up his praises before when I said that I can see James Trafford. I don't think in the European Championships he'll be in England's squad, but I reckon World Cup 2026 in North America, I reckon he could be on the plane. Potentially could even be England's number one. He's a good goalkeeper, good shot stopper, good with his feet. Got a lot of learning to do still, though. But there's a reason why Burnley paid 20 million for him. Alvarez then gives the ball away. Burnley can come away with the ball. Not doing anything about their formation. They're just continuing to leave them gaps. Josh asks, instead of doing watch-alongs, why don't you show the actual game? You'll get more subs and more views. It's very logical. I'll explain why. Because on YouTube, they have something called copyright claims, for anyone that's unaware. So, the broadcast that I'm watching on, I don't own any rights to. I do not pay for the rights for them, and I'm certainly not a mega organisation. As Nathan Ake takes a right hit on his head, goes down and play doesn't stop, and Ederson comes out and collects the ball. He's hurt his shoulder in the meantime. Ake took a bit of a hit there on his lip. I wonder if he's bust his lip. Anyway, back to the copyright thingy situation there. He gets a headbutt there from Lyle Foster. A proper headbutt. I think Ake's okay. He is okay. He is continuing. I don't think there's blood because there's nothing on his shirt or anything. So it looks worse than what it actually was. So yeah, back to the copyright thing. So yeah, I don't pay for the broadcast rights. Premier League deals are £1 million deals. I don't own any rights to them. So if I was to turn my camera around and show you the game very quickly, not only would the video be removed and taken down, I'd receive something known as a copyright strike. I get one of them copyright strikes. YouTube won't promote my videos. It basically becomes pretty pointless of me doing any videos for you guys because there's nothing to gain from it from me. I do this part-time. I do it as a hobby. I do it for entertainment. But also my channel's monetized, so it offers a little sweetener from my end. So for me to work hard on my channel, which I've been doing since 2016, to have it hit for copyright strikes for the gain of some views and subs for it ultimately just to be shut down very quickly just isn't worthwhile. So as content creators, you've got to come up with different ideas. And there's lots of people that are out there doing live watch-alongs. There's people out there doing match vlogs. I do them over on my JSGC football channel, match vlogs and stuff. There's lots of different alternatives that you can go down. And I find in the football community, there's lots of different content creators that are doing lots of different things. And some of them out there are exceptional and very good. You know, obviously covering the City games, there's quite a few City YouTube channels out there that are doing different things in terms of the games, whether it be alternative commentary, whether it be statistic-based watch-alongs, or it becomes overreactions, if that's your kind of thing. There's a bit of everything for everybody, which is what I really like about the City community and presence on social media. There isn't any standout big channels. There's lots of continuous growth for lots of different channels. for lots of different reasons. There's people out there who watch my stuff who enjoy watching my stuff, and they enjoy watching other City content creators. Vice versa, there's people out there who don't enjoy watching my stuff but enjoy watching other City content creators, and that's okay. It's all about personal preference. For me to go out there and just showcase something that isn't mine, just isn't allowed. You'll see certainly a couple of the big City YouTube content creators that do a lot of the YouTube shorts. They upload lots of things and get thousands upon thousands upon thousands of views, and the amount of videos that get struck for copyright because it's not their content is unbelievable. You don't get paid for it. You don't get any gain for it. You get copyright strikes. You get complications. And it's a dangerous game to go down as far as I'm concerned. And very quickly, for all the hard work that I've put in on this channel, you'll soon see my channel disappear if I went down that avenue. So, there we go. That's why. I mean, if I was to if you was to ask me, there's a chance here for City, Rico Lewis doesn't get the weight of his pass right. So, if you was to ask me, like, if I was to be given freedom of what I could show, if you're doing a live watch-along, I'd prefer for me to have a little box with me in and the game in the background so you see my reaction to the game. But I don't own any rights to it. I don't own any rights to highlights, to broadcast it or anything, so that's why. And it's actually quite illegal. It's illegal streaming. So not only might get a copyright strike, potentially get a police file report, and I get a criminal record. Stu says there is one channel he features on the fan reaction channels. He just swears a lot and gets proper angry sometimes. He's like, dude, calm down. It's why he prefers me. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Which channel are you on about there, by the way? Stu says they enjoy your live content and you're recorded, but he likes Manchester City fan Prime Mutton's vlogs. As Prime Mutton does do a lot of stuff. He does a lot with the food and drink, if that's your kind of angle. It's what I'm on about. There's people out there who just do. So MCFC Lads, he does a lot of vlogs, which is very predominant football based. Whereas Prime Muttons goes more into if you're doing these kind of away days and things, then here's my experience and this is what I got to see and drink and eat. So there we go. Seamus says, did Delap get a fair go by Pep? I think the problem with Delap is Delap was, at the point of his career, wasn't ready for Manchester City, and he had a couple of unsuccessful loans. And right now, I'd say Liam Delap, as you'd expect, he's mature and he's getting older, so he's getting better and better. At the moment, he's still nowhere near the level of quality that City will be looking for. I mean, Julian Alvarez is still a very young player. And that's the quality at City that you're looking for. Your Phil Fodens, you've got to hit them levels at an early age. And just because you don't hit them levels doesn't make you a bad football player. And I think that's what a lot of young players have got to get into their heads. It's not an easy thing to do. Really isn't an easy thing to do. Mr. Criminal, yo, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Miles says he rates me, Esteemed Kompany and City Extra. Defo open to other channels. Big Steve when he uploads. I've not had the pleasure of working with some of them. So I've done a bit of work with City Extra. I've done a couple of streams on City Extra with Big Steve. But I've never done anything else with him. And I've done nothing with Esteemed Kompany. So from the working point of view, I can't comment. But as I said, they all offer different alternatives. As Doku gets forward, and that'll be a free kick to Manchester City on the edge of the penalty area. Stu says City Extra is a big swearer. LB's a big swearer as well. I won't ever say anything bad about them because I've worked with them a few times. I exchanged messages with them and the sound people. Jordan's a cracking lad, and so's Hugh at City Extra as well, actually. And Lewis as well, LB. He's a cracking lad too. I've not had the pleasure of working on West when because he left City Extra, didn't he? And he's gone up doing his own thing on his own channel. It's doing very well. I've not had the pleasure of working with him as of yet. But Defo would be open for working with LB. He's a great lad. He's got so much personality. He's funny as well. So, free kick here for City. Good position. De Bruyne to whip it in. De Bruyne! And header nearly came in from Nunes. Trafford gets a fist onto that and the offside flags up. Ah! Should never be offside. It's criminal as far as I'm concerned from a set piece. You can literally look across the line. It's a tight one. It still wasn't a well-timed run. Sorry, I'm getting lots of people putting things in. So if I miss anything that you put in, I do apologise. Just pop it back in the chat again and I'll address it for you guys. I hate missing some of the messages, but if I'm getting lots of them in, then it's difficult. Patrick, welcome, says, who's the best player in the world, in my opinion, right now? I'm not going to say De Bruyne, because De Bruyne has only just come back from injury, so it's unfair. It's unfair for me to say Erling Haaland, because he's been injured for 2 months. I mean, Jude Bellingham's got to be up there, hasn't he? Really has to be up there. I'm so disappointed we didn't sign him. City's midfield would be complete for the next decade with Jude Bellingham. I rate Jude Bellingham. He's an exciting player. I'm delighted that he's English, that I get to watch Jude Bellingham for England in the European Championships. And I pray that Gareth Southgate can get the very best out of some of the prospects that England have got. Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden. Utilise these players. There's areas of weakness to England, of course, but there's some cracking players as well. Scott Carson. We all love Scott Carson, don't we, Stu? I have no idea why LB left City Extra. I've not actually had a chance to ask him. As De Bruyne plays a ball into Doku, it looked like he were offside and nearly goes into the back of the net, and the offside flag does go up now. I mean, Vinicius Juniors doesn't play the same position as Jude Bellingham. And I like Vinicius. He's a cracking player. The best of everybody, though? Not sure about that. It's like Mbappe. He seems to have fallen off the face of the earth, doesn't he, Kylian Mbappe? I put it down to him playing in Ligue 1, and I'm not throwing shade at France and Ligue 1, but because it's so uncompetitive, don't really hear much about Mbappe, and then he just turns up at the big tournaments and he's great. Imagine an Mbappe at Manchester City. He needs that move from PSG, he really does. He really, really does. Anyway, we're now only 41 likes away from 100 likes, so any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well. This game's gone a bit, not flat, but Manchester City are just, they're 2-0 up. Typical Manchester City, they're 2-0 up, so they're not taking any risks. They're working hard, just trying to find that third goal. You imagine eventually that it will come for Manchester City, and that will be that. I tell you what, we're getting an advert for India-England second test. Congratulations to England. And congratulations to Hartley, Lancashire lad. Love it. It's 7 wickets he took in that second innings, and somehow Pope hitting 196 for England, and Hartley getting 7 wickets in the second innings, rescuing England from a perilous situation to win their first test in God only knows how long in India. I think it was in Hyderabad. Get the second test. If you didn't know, some of you guys have been around here before, so you'll know more about me. Anyone that does know will know I'm a huge, huge cricket fan. And we're heading towards the summer here, which means cricket season. Seamus, Liverpool's not kicked off yet. It kicks off in 2 minutes at Anfield against Chelsea. Here's Lyle Foster for Burnley into the City penalty area. Here's Lyle Foster! Goes wide, about 2 yards wide of the post. Not a bad effort, that. Andy, Mbappe's a cracking player. He stinks of Real Madrid. I've got that ego. I've got that presence. I've got that persona. And he's a big game player. You've seen it at the World Cup. He's a big game player. He stinks of a Galactico at Real Madrid. He really does. I'm amazed Neymar's not ended up there. He's got the same attitude. And on his day, maybe not so much over the last year or two, but, you know, go back 3-4 years ago, Neymar on his day was a cracking player as well. Here is Josko Gvardiol for Manchester City. I'm sure we're all cheering Chelsea on today, hoping they can get something at Anfield. Hey, it won't be the first time they've got something at Anfield. Steve Gerrard. And gives it to Demba Ba. How can we forget? So throw in to Burnley. Gudmundsson, he's not done anything in this game. Andy says Neymar would argue with his own shadow. When he's done rolling around, he would. Do you know, I can't help but feel that some of these big personalities, I know they're getting a bit older and they're following the cash from around the world. I can't help but feel like the big competitions, your Champions Leagues and stuff, they really lack that bit of personality. The big talking points, the big players from around the world. You know, we don't have Messi, Ronaldo and your Neymars that aren't even playing in Europe. And they're a massive loss to football from a neutral point of view. And they'll take some replacing, they really will. Marrow, thanks for tuning in. We're into the first of 2 minutes added on here. 2 minutes then for Manchester City. Can we find a third goal? I think City look pretty content with going in at 2-0. And my prediction was 3-0 for this game. City scored 2 in the first half. Early second half, they put the game to bed. And then they coast it. Is what Manchester City are going to do. We've been here before. We've all seen it. We know what's going to happen, as we're now 37 likes away from my aim of 100 likes. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Do subscribe as well if you are new around here. Less than 400 subs now away from 34,000 subscribers. A magnificent number. I think if all my subscribers were to gather in one place at one time, I think we could sell out Bramall Lane. I think it's the newest stadium to the addition, and I look forward to at some point in the future, Manchester City and the Etihad Stadium and me having more subscribers than what could fill the Etihad. It'll probably end up, City will end up expanding. I'll get to, 55,000 subscribers, and then the expansion will hit and it'll be, 62,000. It'll set me back again. As we're only 30 seconds now away from 100 likes, and we're from 100 likes, 30 seconds away from half time, and we are 34 likes away from 100 now, doing very well. As Ederson's got a little bit of work to do, he'll just dink that out to Josko Gvardiol. This has been a comfortable first half for Manchester City. Matheus Nunes, can he give us a bit of magic here in the last 10 seconds? He's not that on too far, and that should be dealt with by Vitinho and James Trafford combined, and it's just launched long, only as far as Nathan Ake, and that will be half time. There we go. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for everybody that has tuned in once more. Much appreciated. I am not reading your username, but that is one of my favourites. One of my favourites. Andy, I said we could fill Bramall Lane, Sheffield United, the home of Sheffield United. And one of my favourite stadiums, Steel City is one of my favourite cities in England as well. I was now 31 likes away from 100 likes. Let's get them likes up, that'd be great. And do subscribe as well. So, half-time scores, Spurs Stadium, nearly half-time there. It is Spurs 0, Brentford 1 at this moment in time. Manchester City's next opponents as well in the Premier League will be Brentford, so keeping one eye on their score. Manchester City 2-0 up at half-time against Burnley at the Etihad and on course for 3 points. Liverpool 0, Chelsea 0. It has only just kicked off. The 3 minutes in that game at the moment. I will actually put that game on, so if there is anything happening, then of course I'll keep you up to date whilst it's half-time here. In the Championship, you've got Sheffield Wednesday taking on Watford in the 33rd minute at Hillsborough, and that is 0-0. You've also got some women's games taking place as well, so we'll start with the Scottish Premier League. You've got Hibernian taking on Dundee United, and near half-time it's 2-0 to Hibernian. Women's Champions League, Braun Women 2, St. Polten 1, Lyon 2, Slavia Prague 2. They're both full-time. Couple of matches in the 18th minute. Your Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Rosengard 0, and Benfica 0, Barcelona 1. In the EFL Trophy, 57 minutes in, Wycombe 4, Brighton and Hove Albion under 21s 0. I think that's at the quarter-final stage, actually, now in the... It's not the Papa John's Trophy this season. It's changed its sponsorship name, and I cannot for the life of me remember their sponsorship name. In La Liga, Barcelona have won by a goal to 0 against Osasuna at home. You got Atletico Madrid, 18 minutes in, 0, Rayo Vallecano 0. Also got matches in, you've got quite a few games taking place. German DFB Cup, Hertha Berlin 0, Kaiserslautern 1 in the 29th minute. And you've also got games in Portugal, Rio Ave 1, Estoril Praia 0, and you've got Sporting Braga taking on Chaves at 8:45pm GMT. So, stats for this game. For Manchester City, 2-0 up, 75% possession, 7 efforts on goal, 3 on target. Manchester City dominating this game, looking good. Burnley, 25% possession, 3 shots, none on target. Not causing too many problems for Manchester City. Had a good pressing game since City have grabbed the opening goal. It has very much been all about Manchester City. And actually pretty clinical. 2 goals from 3 shots on target, 7 shots. Been limited to not too much, but when City have had them opportunities, they've put them away. Couple of clear-cut opportunities put into the back of the net. One of the most surprising stats, City with 2 corners, Burnley with 3. Less possession, less passes, but they've had more corners than us, as Spurs is half-time now, losing by a goal to 0. So I'll flick over to the Liverpool game now. 3 block shots for City, 1 for Burnley. 6 tackles, 1 for City, 3 for Burnley. And 10 aerial duels, 1 for City and 3 for Burnley. 1 save to make in the game, and that's been for James Trafford. In terms of discipline, 2 fouls, 1 for Manchester City, 7 for Burnley, with 1 yellow card in the game. That's fallen for Burnley, with that yellow card going to Ekdal at the back. So there we go. Half-time, Manchester City leading by 2 goals to 0. It's still 0-0, 7 minutes in at Anfield. If anything does change, of course, I will keep you guys up to date. Please do leave a thumbs up. We're aiming for 100 likes, now 30 to go. So any help towards that will be great. Do subscribe as well if you are new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. I'm going to go and have a very quick break, which means I've got some half-time entertainment for you guys to enjoy. So do sit back, relax, enjoy, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, and I'll see you ready for the second half. Half-time entertainment today provided to you by my partner channel, Mixed. Links and details there in the description. Go and check him out. Go and like and subscribe over there. That would be great. Mixed has made recently the Toronto Cocktail, which is a Canadian-based, of course, cocktail for you guys to enjoy. So enjoy. When, of course, I get it loaded. There you go.
What's going on, guys? Mixed here, back again for another cocktail video. Like I said, today's cocktails we're going a little bit Canadian and we're going a little bit back in time with this one. So this is the Toronto cocktail. So this one is a classic that's been resurrected back in 2006, and then the original was formed in 1922. Well, the original was formed in 1922 from Robert Vermeer in his cocktail book, Cocktails How to Mix Them. So this is a little bit take of it. So we're swapping sugar syrup with maple syrup. I was going to say, what's more Canadian than maple syrup? I was going to say, if that's in Canada, I don't know what is. So to make this, it is a 5 ingredient one. It's an interesting one, especially with the Fernet Branca. It's going to be a very herbal, very spicy one, this one. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing we want to do is get your cocktail shakers. We're going a little bit different for this one. I'm putting 4 to 5 ice cubes. So the first ingredient to the tin, guys, is 52.5ml, which is just short of 2 ounces of Canadian blended whiskey. I'm using Crown Royal. So this is 1 3/4 ounce if my measurements are right, which they are. So now 1/4 ounce, which is 7.5ml ounce of Fernet Branca. Next, 7.5ml or 1/4 ounce of maple syrup. Next, 10ml or 1/3 of an ounce of chilled water. Last but not least, 1 dash of Angostura bitters. So put your lid on. Now give it a good shake, 8 to 10 seconds to get nice and chilled. So get your coupe glass and strain into it. So get an orange zest, wipe the glass, discard, and now what we're going to do is garnish it with a Luxardo maraschino cherry. So 1 Luxardo cherry. And there we go. 1 Toronto cocktail. And there we go, 1 Toronto cocktail. How does it taste? It's exactly how I thought it would be. Especially as soon as I saw the recipe with Fernet Branca in it, I just knew what I was getting myself into. It's very, very a required taste. Because the Argentinians love this liqueur. Because it's very, very popular over there, especially if you have Fernet with Coke like that, Fernet Coca. But the thing that makes it, I think, is the Crown Royal, because it's a nice Canadian blended whiskey, especially with a little bit of the maple syrup counterbalancing the Fernet Branca. But that is your strongest tasting note that you will get. Plenty of flavour with it, and I certainly rate it up there because it's certainly a unique cocktail. One thing I will say for it, I like it. Because it's not my usual cocktail that I normally have, but it's certainly up there. So that is 1 Canadian cocktail. So that is the Toronto cocktail. Because I know it's a little bit different of how you make it, because they can use a mixing glass if you wish to do it over the rocks, as that is the proper way of doing it. But that, guys, is a Toronto cocktail. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Mix It for more cocktails like this, and I will see you guys in the next cocktail video. Cheers. It's nice to be back.
Thank you very much there to Mixid for providing today's halftime entertainment. As I said, do go and check him out. Links and details, they are in the description. And do go and like and subscribe. Just keeping an eye on this Liverpool-Chelsea game. Chelsea making a lot of mistakes at the back. Darwin Núñez has just put a ball past the post there for Liverpool. It remains 0-0, 13 minutes in. And I will, of course, keep one eye on that match. Remember, when that game gets to half-time, Man City's game will be coming to a head, which hopefully Man City will have the 3 points, and Liverpool will be put under pressure. So if we can have a favour from Chelsea, then that would be brilliant. Boy Racer says, this sounds delicious, the cocktail. I'm sure Mixid will confirm that it was. Lydia as well, thanks for tuning in. Says that was a good cocktail. I'm sure Mixid will appreciate the kind comments. I will pass them on to Mixid as well. Not too sure where Mixid is. I'm sure he's just he's busy today with lots happening, of course. So, yeah, maybe he might drop in, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. Chelsea again just giving the ball up in positions that Liverpool will favour, and a deep ball comes in and Chelsea win the header, and former City man Cole Palmer can get that one clear. Dave, thanks for tuning in. Why didn't you get a reminder? Are your notifications on? Have you subscribed? If so, should be getting notified. If not, I'm not too sure. Powers that be when it comes to YouTube algorithm. Again, another ball comes into the box from Liverpool. Lots of defending here for Chelsea to do. And as always at Anfield, you've just got to get through the first 15, 20 minutes. It's always so high energy there. The pitch is so small. Liverpool are so motivated. They put a lot of pressure on you to try and grab that opening goal. So if you can just see it out, you'll be in a position to try and get something from the game. Again, to the edge of the penalty area, and Conor Gallagher gets in a good position that Chelsea can just whack that clear, and Raheem Sterling's looking very isolated out there. Very isolated. More defending for Chelsea to do. I haven't actually seen Chelsea touch the ball and have any possession other than them whacking the ball clear. Here's Virgil van Dijk. Dinks one over to the left-hand side. And Luis Diaz has the ball now. He's got McAllister for Kompany. Goes to Gomez. There's Virgil van Dijk now. It's all Liverpool, this. Something's got to give from a Chelsea point of view. They've got everybody camped inside their own 30 yards other than Raheem. In fact, no, they've got everybody camped inside their own 30 yards, and it's just constant pressure. Another ball comes into the box, defended well. There we go, a bit of respite for Chelsea. They get themselves a 3 kick, and they'll consider that a job well done that they've made it through the first 16 minutes. They will. They'll consider that a job well done. Anyway, we'll click back over to the City Burnley game, as that should be getting back underway within the next minute or two. As I said, I'll keep an eye on that game, and any updates that we do get from Anfield, I will let you guys know, and I'm sure the chat will let you know as well. There'll be people that will be keeping one eye on that Liverpool game, as we focus here on Manchester City, and City on course at the moment for 3 points. We've seen Matheus Nunes put a lovely ball into the box, and Julian Alvarez headed Manchester City into the lead. And then a very smart, very clever free kick from Kevin De Bruyne, just passes it across to Julian Alvarez. He has half a yard on the defender and just tucks it into the back of the net for Manchester City's 2-goal cushion here at the Etihad Stadium. And City have a little bit of work to do in the second half, but they've made life easier on themselves. So hopefully they can continue to push on and hopefully get them 3 points. A clean sheet would be really nice. It'd be nice to see City get a little bit of a statement win, wouldn't it? It'd be nice to see City go out there and score 5 or 6 goals. You know, City often enough get 2 or 3 goals in a game and start to coast. It'd be nice to get that goal difference up. We're 2-0 up here, full of energy. We've not played that many games in January. We've got a difficult schedule coming up from March onwards. So it'd be nice just to get the guarantees of the goal difference, really. Anyway, players are coming back out for the second half. I wonder if any changes have been made, in particular from the away side. Manchester City, probably not so much. I wonder when we might see Erling Haaland at some point. So Manchester City back playing in their home kits. I forgot to say it in the first half. Burnley in their away kits, their black shirts, black shorts, black socks. City attacking from right to left here for the second half. They'll be attacking the north stand, the family stand, for the second half. Burnley will be attacking the south stand, where you find a section of the away support following. Burnley today, I think, have got all 3 tiers. My camera's in the way of where my buttons are of letting the timers go. That's why you see me just ducking under. Andy enjoyed Mixid's half-time entertainment, the Toronto cocktail, and that's a good ball already. Manchester City could be in here. Here's Phil Foden into the penalty area. He's got the cavalry coming now. Here's Rodri! Oh, how long's that? 26 seconds! And Manchester City, 3-0 up, putting this game to bed. We had to see a Rodri rocket, of course, and it's a great time to score for Manchester City. You know, 2 goals in the first half. Burnley will be motivated coming out in the second half. You know, you get it to 2-1. 2-0's a dangerous scoreline. City, 26 seconds in. Bam! There you go. Have it. Boom goes the dynamite. And job is done. 3-0 Manchester City. So good finish from Rodri, edge of the penalty area. Maybe just inside the penalty area. Beyond James Trafford. And it's all about that through ball from City. And there we go. Done and dusted. Tom, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. And going back to what I was just saying literally a minute ago, this is the perfect time for City to go out and make a statement win. It really is. The perfect time. We're 3-0 up. None of this coasting malarkey. We've got Alvarez sitting on a hat-trick. Go and get your hat-trick. You got Haaland on the bench, wants to get some minutes and get back in amongst the goals. Go out there and do it. De Bruyne will want to grab a goal. Go and do it. Go out there. 5, 6, 7 goals. Keep going. I know it's Vincent Kompany that's in charge and we all love him to bits. But football's a relentless, ruthless game. No mercy. I want City to keep going. I don't want them to coast on this. I want this to be an emphatic performance from City. As we are now 25 likes away from 100 likes. We are 3/4 of the way there. Platform 9 3/4 for the Hazard Potter fans out there. It's unbelievable that I'm married, isn't it? We have fun. We do. We have fun. Here's Ederson for Manchester City to Nathan Ake. Do you know what? I want to see recently single Ruben Dias. I've missed saying his name today. I want to see him on the pitch. Tom asks, what's the prediction today? I mean, I've gone for 3-0 in City to coast this. I hope I'm wrong. I want to see 6. 6-0 Manchester City. Oh, can you imagine 3-1? Oh, that's a disgusting scoreline. 3-1. Here's Nunes for City then to Gvardiol. And Kudos to Josko Gvardiol. How good has Gvardiol been? Andy backing me up there, saying, yeah, we need to keep our foot on the pedal, increase our goal difference, and this is a great time to go and do it. Stu says 4-0 Manchester City. As we're now 22 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Here's Rodri now to Rico Lewis. P. Diddy 6-1. Like, you see, it's going to happen, isn't it? This game's going to finish 6-1. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to say City have pushed on. They've scored 6 goals. 91st minute. A Lyle Foster. Or a Sander Berge goal. 6-1. Just doesn't sound anywhere near as good as 6-0, does it? Anyway, throw in for Burnley to no one in particular. Hacked clear. Andy tells me that the Liverpool game has seen a goal and Liverpool have gone 1-0 up. I said that pressure was going to tell. It's classic, it's vintage Liverpool. High energy. They're relentless. They don't stop until they grab that opening goal. You've just got to weather the storm there. You've got to make it to half-time at 0-0. You've got to do it. You get it to 0-0 at half-time. You've weathered the storm. Here's Foden. Foden! Good block. As Manchester City were nearly in again there through Kevin De Bruyne. Foden trying to play a pass in. Looks a bit upset with himself there, Phil, that he didn't find the pass. De Bruyne was just slightly stretched out and Foden had played it into the channel a little bit too close to the keeper. Not a bad effort. Nearly. Burnley working it out from the back. Josko Gvardiol slips as it's Diogo Jota that's given... Jeremy Doku's taken out Nathan Ake and Burnley have got a player over here. Burnley have got a player over here. Burnley have not found the back of the nets. It's Amdouni it was with the effort. Probably should have squared it across. Doku, I think, has come out worse there than Nathan Ake in that coming together. There was a chance for Burnley to make it 3-1 and potentially get back into the game. They had an extra player over, so Amdouni just needs to look up. I think he's onside. And if he looks up, he's too busy focusing on shooting. There's a tap-in. There's a tap-in for... There's 2 ready for a tap-in, actually. Lyle Foster was forward. Greedy from Amdouni. Greedy. Here's Ederson then for Manchester City. Gives the ball to Johnny Stones. And here's Julian Alvarez now to Matheus Nunes. Here's Nathan Ake to Josko Gvardiol. Gives the ball to Rodri. And finds Julian Alvarez. Here's Rico Lewis. Manchester City fan. It's never over until it's over. 2-0's a difficult scoreline to peg back. Crystal Palace managed it. 3-0 isn't impossible, in particular with plus added time more than 40 minutes. It's not impossible, it's just very difficult to do. Here comes Jeremy Doku. Squares it across. Can't find an advancing Julian Alvarez. He wanted his hat-trick there. Couldn't find him and cleared by Burnley. Only out for a throw-in, though. Here's Gvardiol to Rodri. He's already grabbed a goal in this second half and he's tackled, and that'll be a corner. Stu says, JSGC, I was watching fan reaction and someone was singing Oh Haaland for Manchester United. Virtually a version of Oh Kevin De Bruyne. I tell you what, Haaland's been a right dud for United, hasn't he? How much did they spend on him? Like 70+ million? They've wasted some right amount load of money. It's things you love to see. So corner was worked short there by City. Worked to the edge of the penalty area for Foden. He has a shot and it was blocked. Messi Marv tuning in from Rotterdam. Love that. Netherlands in the room. Shout out to you. Thanks for tuning in. I do hope you are well, my friend, as we're now 20 likes. 20 likes from 100 likes. I didn't know Tottenham had scored. They've scored 2. They're now 2-1 ahead against Brentford. There we go. So Spurs now 2-1 up. Liverpool 1 up. Manchester City 3-0 up. No real surprises, is there? And big games coming up in the Premier League at the weekend, though. Arsenal against Liverpool. Definitely game of the weekend on Sunday afternoon. And Manchester City, our next game on Monday night, taking on Brentford away from home in West London at the Brentford Community Stadium. I think it's got a sponsor name now. Is it like G-Tech Stadium or something? I've not done my preview where I do my research into getting all the factual information. Whoops. I knocked my ring light over. So I will just pick that up one sec. All's well that ends well. Apologies for that. I just kicked it over. The wire just dangled over just underneath my desk. And I was just rearranging myself. And knocked it. So apologies. Here is Johnny Stones. Because it's a Nathan Ake Gvardiol now. Rodri pings that across to Foden. Well read by Burnley. And they can intercept. And they can come forward. And they can give the ball away. Here's Foden. Misplaced pass. Burnley can come away with the ball here. Lyle Foster's made a run. Finds Gudmundsson here. First time we've seen Gudmundsson really getting an advanced position. He goes down. He wants a free kick. He's not getting one. Manchester City, through Gvardiol, think about the counter-attack. He finds Jeremy Doku. He's got 2 players over here on the left. One of them Nunes, the other De Bruyne. Nunes uses De Bruyne now, stretching this pitch nice and wide. Finds Jeremy Doku. He might have an effort on goal here. He doesn't. Finds Foden. Here's Nunes. Rico Lewis might have an effort. Encouraged to shoot by the crowd. He doesn't. Josko Gvardiol now finds De Bruyne. Goes back to Nunes. De Bruyne once more. There's movement for City, but there's nothing to give. And a fair effort to Burnley here. The defender's not giving up. They're trying to keep this tight. It's so difficult. You're away against Manchester City. You're 3-0 down after 57 minutes. Where's the motivation? You've got to really be mentally strong to try and stay in the Premier League, and the relegation battles, they can be very difficult, and Doku goes with a low ball across. Did find its way through the legs of the defender, but straight into the arms of James Trafford, and that will force Vincent Kompany's hand, and Burnley here are preparing the first of 3 substitutions. And Burnley are going to take this opportunity now to make them 3 substitutions. So, first sub to be made is going to see Gudmundsson come off. And you're going to see Amdouni come off as well. And Lyle Foster's going to be the... So it's all attacking changes there. 2 strikers and a right winger coming off for Burnley. So Amdouni, Gudmundsson and Foster are the players that come off, and Fofana making his debut along with Ramsey and Roberts are the players to come on for Burnley. Fofana on loan from Chelsea, making his debut, a loan signing from Burnley this month. Got to look to try and cause City some problems. I wonder why Vincent Kompany didn't make these changes at half-time when they were 2-0 down. I thought they might have made a change or two. They didn't. Should be a throw into City and is. Here's De Bruyne into the box. He was in a good position there, De Bruyne. He just couldn't get the ball out from under his feet to get a shot away. Here's Jeremy Doku now. Finds Nathan Ake, Gvardiol, Rodri. I wonder how long it's going to be before City go to the bench. Here's Burnley coming forward. Can't find Fofana. Cut off really well there by Nathan Ake. Really well. Trying to sort out the position of the microphone. I think I'm happy with that. That's a good ball from De Bruyne into Nunes, into the penalty area. He's got to turn. As I said, going back to what I've just said, Burnley they're defending pretty well here, considering the 3-0 down. So here's Nathan Ake, as Roberto, thanks for tuning in, says De Bruyne needs some time to come back in shape. I mean, it is going to take time. He's been out injured since end of July. It's January. It's end of January now. You know, it's the first time. He's been doing cameo appearances. He's been doing 10, 15 minutes here, 10, 15 minutes there. It's going to take time to accumulate himself and get back into a position where he can do 80 plus minutes for Manchester City. And this is a great time for... The only way De Bruyne gets match fitness and match sharpness up is doing what City are doing here. I think I keep De Bruyne on until at least 70 minutes. Tom's spot on there with the same with Erling Haaland. It's the same with Jeremy Doku. It's the same with John Stones. It's going to take a bit of time. It takes weeks. The longer you're out for, the longer you need to get back up to the level that you're looking at. As Richarlison has just made it 3-1 to Tottenham Hotspur, so you think that's going to be 3 points. And that's good news, I think, for City. Brentford losing that game doesn't give them confidence, doesn't give them a run of form, and means with City playing them in their next game, cast a bit of doubt. And you know, I don't want Brentford up ahead of steam ahead of a home match against Manchester City. I want their form to dip. As Nunes goes onto the floor, gives the ball away, high up, and that's a great interception from Gvardiol. De Bruyne just couldn't get it under control, and Burnley doing ever so well here. Sander Berge now works it to the edge of the penalty area, and a shot comes in, and Ederson makes the save. Seamus says, will Klopp get the manager's job after Southgate? I can see Klopp, he seems to be hinting at a break. He's exhausted, he's tired, so I don't reckon so. Apparently, Southgate's leaving after the tournament, the European Championships in the summer. As we're now on to 82 likes, just 18 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well if you are new around here. Here's Ederson. Just dinks a ball across to Alvarez. Finds De Bruyne on the volley. Pinpoint perfect pass to Jeremy Doku. A heavy touch though from Doku. Means Burnley can have possession. How on earth De Bruyne found that pass then is beyond me. Anyway. This game's going how I said. 2 goals in the first half. Quick goal in the second half, kill the game off, and City are going to coast this game. That intensity, that urgency from City doesn't really seem to be there. And this is, I think if I'm Pep, this is where I look towards the bench, I think. And now's a good time to go to the bench, 3 or 4 changes, freshen it up, see if we can get that intensity back. De Bruyne, I mean, we're near enough 65 minutes in, so we're pretty close to the 70 minutes. Your Jack Grealishes, your Oscar Bobbs, your Erling Haalands. Put them on the pitch. It's got to be Haaland. It's got to be. Here is Rodri now. Plays a pass to Phil Foden. And Phil Foden's looked good on this right wing. I maintain that he's a cracking central midfielder, and that's the long-term position I want to see Phil Foden in. But on that right wing, he's looked good. He has looked good. Here's Rodri now for Manchester City. I'd like to see Jeremy Doku at some point on that right wing, I think. I think that'll be a position that really suits him. I really do. Here's Rico Lewis for Manchester City. Just gives the ball back to Johnny Stones. And I said in the first 20 minutes or so, Rico Lewis looked off the pace. And that's just put that down to game time. It's just not been there, so he looks a bit rough around the edge. He's at 85, 90%, not quite at 100%. We're 66 minutes in now, and he seems to be knocking it around very nicely. So, not looking as disorientated at the moment, which is good. Julia informs me that Liverpool have doubled their lead, and you imagine that's probably the 3 points for Liverpool as well. Not what the doctor ordered, but of course, City just need to focus on themselves. Very important to remember that this title race, whilst it would be great to get some favours, is still in Manchester City's hands. It does involve us going to Anfield and winning, but there's still plenty of games to go. Liverpool got a very difficult game away against Arsenal. It's a huge match. You fancy a Liverpool win, that's probably the end of the title race for Arsenal, potentially. So Arsenal could really do with winning that game. It's Conor Bradley that's scored, Snowy informs me, for Liverpool. Yep, TNT Sports, who are broadcasting this game live in the UK. The City game just said it's Conor Bradley, 39th minute. Burnley knocking the ball around nicely now. Tom reckons Kalvin Phillips going to West Ham. It's the right club for him. Hopefully he'll get them minutes. No option to buy, no purchase option. There is the potential that he comes back to Manchester City and could be competing for a place in the Manchester City squad again. He needs to impress. That's what Pep said. So I wish him nothing but the best at West Ham. Hopefully he can do a good job there, showcase what he can do. Can he get to the plane for England to Germany for the European Championships? Here's Burnley not giving up. Into the penalty area. And I'm not too sure what that was from Sander Berge, but he just dinks a ball to the back post, and miles beyond anybody else and straight out for a goal kick. It was Josh Brownhill exchanging passes there with Sander Berge, former Preston North End midfielder. There's a combination, a couple of 1-2s between Josh Brownhill and Sander Berge. Just didn't quite work. Tom reckons if we're going to go for that 6-0, we could do it with another goal now. The coasting, we're near that magical 70-minute mark. And this is where De Bruyne and Doku come off for me. And John Stones possibly as well. I mean, if they're to come off. What, Grealish on the left? Maybe Kovacic through the middle for De Bruyne. Maybe Ruben Dias for John Stones at the back. Might see Oscar Bobb come on, to be fair. Maybe. We'll see. Here is Philip Walter Foden finds Jeremy Doku. To the byline, Jeremy. Not to the byline, to De Bruyne. And the only surprise is De Bruyne doesn't get his shot right. He grits his teeth. And it's into the stands. As we're into the final 20 minutes here at the Etihad Stadium. It is Manchester City 3, Burnley 0. And cometh the hour. +10. Cometh Erling Haaland. He's coming on here for Manchester City. The cameras are out. The applause is there. KDB completes 70 minutes. Grabs himself an assist. He comes off. He's going to hand the captain armband over. Where's the armband going to? Is the next question. It's Kyle Walker on the bench, of course. And it is going to be the Viking coming on. So Alvarez will go into midfield here on a hat-trick for Manchester City. And Erling Haaland, the Viking, comes on. The return of Haaland. We've not seen him since December 6th, I think. And Erling Haaland here has 20 minutes. What can he do? Can he find a goal on his return? And look at big Erling straight in with a challenge. Straight in with the challenge. Erling Haaland leading the Premier League goal scoring charts. He's currently on 14 goals. I'm telling you, Haaland keeps himself fit between now and the end of the season. He'll get 30 goals in the Premier League. I guarantee you of it. Anyway, guys, 16 likes to go. Let's get to 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Looked like Jeremy Doku had pulled him back, and I don't think the referee's given any of it for Vitinho. And that will be a corner kick here to Manchester City. Vincent Kompany really not happy that a free kick was given. And City dink it in towards Ake. Can't win the header. Gvardiol can, and Burnley can hack it clear eventually. And here's Rico Lewis for Manchester City. Here's Johnny Stones to Rico Lewis. Matheus Nunes now to Rodri. To Nathan Ake. I love that name. The game, if you're watching in the UK, it's live on TNT Sports, formerly BT Sports. It's on TNT Sports 3. So on 1, you've got Liverpool's game. Spurs are on 2, City are on 3. Here's Doku. He can't find the pass to Haaland. Rico Lewis was in acres of space. Use him, Jeremy. It's like he's allergic to using Rico Lewis. He was in 2 good positions there. Twice the pass could have been played, and twice the pass wasn't played. JSGC's getting annoyed. He's getting tongue twisted. Here is Josko Gvardiol to Nathan Ake under pressure. Ake does very well under pressure, and Gvardiol plays the pass. City want the advantage. The referee says, no, I want the free kick taking over there. And Manchester City, I think, wanted the advantage. I think City just wanted to get on with that then. Referee says, no! As we're now 15 likes away from 100 likes. We're nearly there. 15 to go. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here. That would be brilliant. We'll be back with another live watch-along on Monday night. Manchester City's away game against Brentford. As Burnley in another good position. And Burnley having a good go. A real good go at trying to do something here. And there's a bit of argy-bargy going on. And what's Ederson doing? Why is Ederson involved? It's all kicking off. It's all kicking off. There's pushing, there's shoving, there's grabbing. It's unnecessary. What's going on? City are 3-0 up. It's so unnecessary. I get Burnley are a bit frustrated, but Ederson doesn't need to react. Tom says 1-0 win against Spurs. And talking about the foul on goalkeeper Vicario. There was no foul on Vicario. Far too much protection for goalkeepers for me. Far too much. And Snowy, salute to you, sir. Thank you very much for subscribing. Much appreciated. So Roberts has been shown a yellow card. And I think Eddie's going to be shown a yellow card as well for his reaction. So ball gets collected. I think John Stones just got a little push in the back and he goes down. It's a bit theatrical from John Stones. And then Roberts gets involved in an argument with Rico Lewis. So Ederson comes in and barges into Roberts. Roberts hasn't even responded to Ederson's barge. Then Ederson grabs him and kind of shoves him away. Anyway, Connor Roberts' substitute goes into the book for Burnley. And I think Eddie's gone into the book for Manchester City as well. P. Diddy says, subscribe but didn't see the live count. The live count only changes on the hundreds. So when I get to 33,700, you will see it tick over. In the meantime, we don't have an exact number because otherwise I'd just be sat here all day fluctuating the number. So I work it up in hundreds to make life easier for me. When we hit 700, I'll move it on. Anyway, another substitution made here, and it's Zaroury that's coming on for Burnley. I didn't quite see who's come off. They'll get confirmation of that in a minute. Philip Walter Foden comes off, and Jackie G comes on for Manchester City. And thank you for subscribing as well, P. Diddy. Much appreciated. Anyway, play can resume here. And Manchester City can continue. And ball gets played into the channel looking for Erling Braut Haaland. Doesn't work out. And Burnley will get that one clear instead. 3-0 Manchester City lead here against Burnley. Man City on course here for the 3 points. City will want to keep their clean sheet as Fofana is offside for Burnley, so a free kick for City. Here is Nunes for Manchester City. We're now 13 likes away from 100 likes, so any help towards that would be great. Ball gets played across to Johnny Stones. Here is Rico Lewis. He gets pushed in the back, and that will be a free kick for Manchester City. And we're now just 12 minutes away, and Manchester City, Juan Lilo just arms folded. It looks like he just wants to, job's done, I want to go home now. I think we've all been there, haven't we? Nearly at the end of your day. Here's Gvardiol, finds Jackie G. Jackie G is all over him, ref. He's all over him. Free kick not given. Play continues. Eddie finds Rico Lewis. Here is Nathan Ake, the underrated Nathan Ake. Finds Gvardiol. Here's Matheus Nunes, and that's lovely feet from Nunes. Desperately unlucky. City could get control of this ball, but Burnley, through Sander Berge, manages to regain control, and ball gets given away, and Manchester City can think about the counter-attack. And here is Jeremy Doku, 3 ahead of him. He's got the pace. Use your pace. Use your pace. And he threads a pass through, and it's the wrong option. The wrong option. Tom reckons Kevin De Bruyne copying Jackie G's hair. He needs the headband. The ginger Jackie G. Although, to be fair, that's disrespectful to Kevin De Bruyne because I'm basically saying Jackie G's a better player than him. And I'm definitely not committing to that. Oh, I do love Jackie G. I love Kevin De Bruyne as well. It's all good. I tell you, we have fun on these watch-alongs. I love burrito. Me too. It says 3-0 will be the end result. It's my prediction for the game. I think it's 5 points for my Super 6 as well. So maybe I could do with it staying 3-0. I am on the Blue Machine Naked Smoothie. £2 in Asda. Dave, I'm not that rich. Fiji water. Is Burnley coming forward and Doku's just gone through the back of him there. Yeah, free kick. Good position this actually. And Doku into the box. A bit harsh for a yellow card. And Burnley wanted to take that quick. I don't know if they've been allowed. Armory just protects the ball there. Gets the contact from behind from Doku. It's a harsh yellow card that, I think. Yeah, free kick. I don't think it's anything more, in my opinion. Anyway, free kick for Burnley. Josh Brownhill stood over this. Chance for Burnley to get some players forward. Can they get that goal? I said 3-1 doesn't sound as good as 3-0. Can Burnley do something from this set piece? They've worked it. They're doing something off the training ground, and Man City can get a head onto it and can get a foot onto it and get that one clear. City want an offside. John Stones does anyway. Doesn't happen, and another ball comes into the box, and it's defended well, and a shot comes in. Burnley just couldn't get the power behind the effort there. It's Ekdal with the effort on goal, the centre back, and Ederson can gather that one up, and Manchester City can come away with the ball. Rodri brought down here just on halfway by Fofana, so that'll be a free kick for Manchester City. Dinked towards Haaland. Is it Haaland time? Is it Haaland time? No, he has to turn away from goal. Haaland! Oh! He holds his hands up. Haaland goes to have a shot. It's like primary school. He goes to shoot on his left foot. He misses it and loses his footing and loses his balance. And it looks a bit comical. I want to see a replay of that. I want to see that again. I hope they show a replay of that. That's bloody brilliant. I'm afraid not, Tom. Not Haaland time. He gets his footing wrong. Burnley dink a ball forward. Ederson reads that one and mops it up. And I tell you what, Ederson was under a bit of pressure in this game. Ortega-Moreno was very good against Spurs. Very good. So Eddie's needed to not only keep a clean sheet, but make sure his reading of the game and his distribution's been on point. And Eddie's had a good game for City, I think, here today. He's done everything that he's needed to do. Hopefully, for the next 7.5 minutes, he can keep his clean sheet intact. And it'd be nice if City could go out there and maybe grab another goal or two. But not as of yet. We are nearly into my man of the match time, and maybe we're going to get a highlight of this Haaland effort. We are going to get a highlight, a slow-mo highlight. Oh, the cruel. It hits the side of his foot, so he turns onto his left foot, and the shot goes backwards. Bernardo's laughing about it. Kovacic is laughing about it. Sergio Gomez is grinning. Haaland laughed about it as well. Love it. I think that might be my moment of the game from Erling Haaland. I love it. I love everything about it. Anyway, play continues. Nunes, he's had a good game for City today. A really good game. Commentators curse. He gives the ball away. Commentators curse. They're desperately trying to give the ball to Haaland, aren't they? They're desperately trying to get him a goal. Here's Rico Lewis coming forward now. I'll tell you what, Rico Lewis has had a good game as well. This gets dinked. Haaland time! No! No! I apologise to anybody that's wearing earphones or headphones or anything. I apologise. I get very overexcited and I shout. I reckon I get at least two texts every game. Be quiet. As I'm making too much noise. Anyway, it's a corner. Haaland. It wasn't Haaland time. Are we going to get Haaland time? We want Haaland time, don't we? I want my clickbait reaction review video. I need Haaland to score for that. Corner comes in. And it amounts to nothing. I think it might. Is it been retaken or has it gone out for another corner? I'm not sure. Anyway, Small, thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. And says subscribed as well. Salute to you. Thank you very much for that, much appreciated. Here's Alvarez. Goes for the near post, doesn't beat the first man. KDB off the pitch, so not on corner duty for City anymore. Here's Alvarez once more now. Finds Rodrigo, goal scorer for City's third goal and potentially City's final goal of the game. Unless something is to happen in the next 4.5 minutes. Here is Ederson, sends the ball long, looking for Jack Grealish. Can't find Grealish, and that goes out of play for a throw-in. And Man City are going to prepare themselves with 2 more subs, as Burnley's going to make their 5th and final sub of the game. City are going to see Sergio Gomez. Nice to see Sergio Gomez. He's going to be coming on for City along with Mateo Kovacic. So Burnley, Ekdal comes off and Masengo comes on in their 5th and final change of the game. For Manchester City, making their 3rd and 4th substitution. Seen Haaland come on the 1st, Grealish the 2nd. Kovacic is going to come on for Rodrigo. So 4 minutes of rest here. Rodri was given the captain's armband from Kevin De Bruyne, so he's going to have to hand the captain's armband over to Johnny Stones. There we go. Rodrigo comes off for Manchester City and Kovacic comes on. Kovacic had a brilliant game against Spurs, I thought, in the last game. Sergio Gomez, don't get to see Gomez that much, is going to come on here for Manchester City, and it's going to be Julian Alvarez. He doesn't get his hat-trick. The spider doesn't evolve into the tarantula today. No hat-trick for Julian Alvarez, but he does get a brace and a couple of goals. We'll give him an applause, and I'm also going to give him my JSGC man of the match as well for his couple of goals for Manchester City. He comes off and Sergio Gomez comes on. Jack Grealish, very interesting this, has been told to play in attacking midfield, play behind the striker in a central role. Sergio Gomez on the left wing, Jeremy Doku on the right wing, as we're now into the nervous 90s in terms of the likes. 10 likes to go. Can we get to 100 likes? There's 3 minutes plus added time remaining. Let's make it happen. Mick Sid, good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Now that you're here, I am going to enlighten you that I've had your Toronto cocktail as my halftime entertainment, and it was well received by everybody. Really enjoyed the Toronto cocktail, so I thought I'd pass that feedback on to you, that it was a very well-made cocktail and a very well-made video. So kudos there to Mix It. As I said, do go and check him out. Links and details there in the description. Cash Lord, thanks for tuning in. How old am I and how old is Mixid? I'll let Mixid enlighten you to his age. I turn 29 this year, so I'm 28. Believe it or not. Long ball sent forward from Burnley. I've been impressed with how Burnley have played 3-0 down. It'd be so easy for them to just, let the heads drop. Oh, Haaland's in! Haaland time! Haaland time! Oh, he's passing it. What's he doing? He doesn't even complete the pass. Finds Nunes on the second attempt. Nunes! Nope. Burnley come away with the ball again. Stu wants to get his prediction right. I want my prediction right now. We've lasted to the 89th minute. We're 3-0 up. There we go. Here's Jeremy Doku. Finds Kovacic. Lovely drop of the shoulder that from Doku. Kovacic. Oh, the crowd need to be shouting, man on. Man on. There's a man right behind him. Not utilised. Anyway, don't forget, if you are enjoying the content, please do subscribe and leave a thumbs up. 10 likes to go to 100 likes. Any help towards that would be fantastic. Robbie Savage giving his man of the match now. Let's see who he goes for. I went with Julian Alvarez, a brace. Nunes could have got it. Rodri's had a good game. He's giving it to Nunes. There you go. He was a close second, but I went with Alvarez. A couple of goals. Here's Rico Lewis. He runs into trouble and tackled. Rodgers wants more goals. Here is Jack Grealish, as we're into the first of 5 minutes added on here at the Etihad. 5 minutes then. Remaining of this game, we're now 9 likes away from 100 likes. 9 to go. Here's Jack Grealish. Threads are passing towards Haaland. Cut off really well. Burnley can't get it fully clear, and Grealish picks the ball back up again. As we get a big advert for Etihad Super Dry, and the clothing brand Super Dry are suing Manchester City for using the term Super Dry as a brand advertisement for Etihad. Very interesting from a law aspect. It's not enough. We've got 115 charges to contend. We've got to go through a lawsuit as well. Mixid says he'll welcome any suggestions for any drinks and cocktails. I want to see a Mixid review of Etihad Super Dry. That's what we want to see. Is it worthwhile Man City having a lawsuit against them for this sponsor? Is the drink good? Is it rated? Is it worthwhile having that lawsuit? These are the questions. Mixid's the master that knows the answer. It's the content we want to see. We want to see it as a halftime entertainment in the next month. We want it. Mixid needs to give the peeps what they want. Here is Burnley still pushing. No, don't score. No, no. No. I'm laughing because it's exactly what I said. Go back to my earlier stream. I say City will go 3-0. Mark my words. Last minute, we'll concede because 3-1 doesn't sound as good as 3-0. I called it and it's a tap-in. I said Ederson's under pressure from Ortega-Moreno, and there goes the clean sheet. And it's just +2 goal difference. City just been a bit too casual for my liking. Too casual. Mixid, in terms of saying what, we want to see a review of Etihad Super Dry. Man City have a lawsuit over that drink, so we need to see a review. Here's Haaland. Can we get that 3-goal difference back? Doku! And a good interception out for a corner. Minute and a half remaining. Mr. Criminal. We don't want... 3-3. There's not a long enough left. There's only 90 seconds left of the game. Yeah, I feel like we've been too focused on trying to get Haaland his dream goal return. I've not seen enough from Manchester City second half once they've gone 3-0 up that, you know, they were coasting. This was a great chance. If I'm to critique anything today, this was a great chance to get that goal difference up, and I don't think we've done that. And because of it, from a game we've dominated and put ourselves in a brilliant position in, we're coming away with... We're getting 3 points, that's all that matters, but +2 goal difference. Probably could have been 4 or 5, should have been 4 or 5 as far as I'm concerned in the position that we was in. Corner comes in, header not won by Manchester City, and we've got 30 seconds left. Mixed, I know you're not keen, but we want to see the review. It's got a lawsuit. We need to see the review. Is it worthwhile Man City having a lawsuit over this drink? We need to see it. Project Real Deal, thanks for tuning in. As Andy says, it's pronounced Asahi. Asahi? Rather than Asahi? I don't know. I'm with Mixed Sid. I'm not a real fan of the drink. I think it's bottom tier, controversial. And there we go, full-time whistle. 3-1 Manchester City, 3 points. We're happy with that. Could have, should have been more. It wasn't. You know, we get the 3 points. There's some pressure on to Liverpool. They've got a match against Chelsea to see out. They've got a match on Sunday against Arsenal that is a must-win. Manchester City in action against Brentford Monday night, which is when you guys will see me again on another live stream watch-along. So I would say a big thank you to everybody for tuning in. First and foremost, we're 6 likes away from 100 likes. So whilst I go through the outro, if we could hit them 6 likes, then that would be sensational. So any help towards that would be great. So if you are new around here, please do subscribe. Social media links, they're in the description if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. 5 likes to go now. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Also, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. 5 likes to go to 100 likes. Also, don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the live chat. Tom, the City fan, says, thank you again, Jay. Much appreciated. Thank you very much, Tom, for tuning in and interacting with me. Andy and Alison, thanks for tuning in. Says, great stream, guys. Onwards and upwards to the next game. And might to everyone else. Much apprecited. Snowy as well. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. Said he loved it, so all good as we're now 3 likes away from 100 likes. Very close to it. I've just got my eye on Tottenham Brentford 3-2. 3 minutes remaining in added time. Lydia, thanks for tuning in. Says thank you as well. You are more than welcome, my friend. So yeah, thank you to everybody that has tuned in today, that has interacted with me and left a thumbs up and spoke to me once more. A very pleasurable live watch along. And as I said, we will be back on Monday night for the Brentford game. Very quickly, just going to go through the statistics for this game, and then I'm going to end the live stream there, and I'm going to end the live stream because I'm going to go and do my match review, match reaction, and match analysis of this game. So, got another video to enjoy for me before the night is out. So, stats for this game. Manchester City had 74% possession, 14 shots, 4 on target, 3 goals, which is a good return from the shots on target to goal ratio. 14 shots, 4 on target, it's not the greatest of returns, and considering we've had near enough 3/4 of the ball, only 14 shots in the game. There we go, as Brentford nearly found an equaliser then. Good grief. 2 clear-cut chances for City, 2 clear-cut chances for Burnley. 777 passes for Manchester City, 264 for Burnley. 6 block shots for City, 2 for Burnley. 7 tackles, 1 for City, 8 for Burnley. 16 aerial duels for City, 1 with 7 for Burnley. 2 saves for Ederson to make, conceding 1, and 1 for James Trafford to make, but conceding 3. And in terms of discipline, 2 yellow cards apiece for both sides. Jeremy Doku and Ederson, the 2 yellow cards for Manchester City, and for Burnley it was Ekdal and Connor Roberts into the book for Burnley. It does mean City pick up the 3 points. It does mean Manchester City remain in second place with a game in hand on Liverpool, and as it stands, if Liverpool do go on to hold on to that lead that they've got against Chelsea at Anfield, then Man City will remain 5 points behind with a game in hand, and Liverpool this weekend playing away at Arsenal, with Manchester City playing away against Brentford, who are currently losing 3-2 to Tottenham Hotspur, and that's keeping Tottenham Hotspur in the top 4 as it stands, and Aston Villa dropping off. And you're starting, in my opinion, to see a 3-horse title race, and I think if Arsenal lose this weekend, I think maybe you could be seeing a 2-horse title race, but there's still so long left of the season. There's 16 games left, 17 for Manchester City, which means there's 51 points to compete with. We can make it happen. So in terms of this game, 2 first half goals for Manchester City, both for Julian Alvarez in the 16th and 22nd minute. Rodri made it 3-0, 26 seconds into the second half, before Amin Al-Dakhil, the left back for Burnley, pops up centre of goal to tap in the 93rd minute to make this game Manchester City 3, Burnley 1. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. We're on... I nearly lost my voice then. We're on 99 likes. Who wants to be the 100th like? Who wants it? Go and have it. 100 likes is right there. Larissa, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Barry as well, thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. And I will see you guys all again real soon for the next Manchester City video out in the next hour with my match review. We've got a transfer update up tomorrow. Transfer deadline day for you guys to enjoy. We'll end the transfer stuff end of this week, and we'll be back with a live watch-along Monday night, and we'll have all the build-up, of course, this weekend to the Brentford away game. So thank you for watching. Much appreciated. That's what we've got to look forward to. And yeah, I'll see you all again real soon. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I do hope everyone is safe and well. I'm just watching Brentford put one last ball into the box, see if they can find an equaliser against Spurs. They've flicked it out for a corner as we do hit 100 likes. So thank you very much for tuning in. Much appreciated. I'm just going to wait for this Brentford game to end. It's very dramatic. Goalkeeper's up. Is there going to be some limbs and scenes in that away end? Well, I want 101 likes. Thanks. Can Spurs hold on? We're a minute overtime in added time. Corner comes in and Richarlison wins the header. And referee blows the final whistle. Big 3 points that for Tottenham into the top 4 for them. Right, thanks for watching. See you soon. Peace. Ciao for now.